We're almost a month into the baseball season. NBA playoffs have been a little entertaining, and a TV icon passes away. This is the We Don't Know Sports Podcast. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the We Don't Know Sports Podcast. This is Chad the Mark with
Mr. Brown
and someone who we haven't determined yet. So before you hear a third voice, we're actually just starting the show because this guy named Brad, who's done the show before, doesn't want to go by Brad. He wants to be cool. He wants to be like us. Shut up. You can't talk yet.
Okay.
No, you're still talking. That's not how this works. On the spot, the name you pick, you have to live with forever. You cannot change it. You've said a couple of really stupid things. So have you come to a conclusion? Do you know what the final answer is? Now you can talk.
I have an idea. For those of you that are listening, I want you to message in on We Don't Know Sports and say what you think my name should be.
Mystery guest.
Are we supposed to get chimes now all of a sudden?
No, so let's just go ahead and say it's the artist formerly known as Brad.
For now. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we'll roll one.
Ditka lover.
You are a Bears fan. I'll give you that.
Ditka lover.
Brad, you kill me, sir. You kill me. We'll figure it out eventually, but it's been a minute since we've been together and been able to talk. We just had a lot going on. We had some birthdays. We had, I don't know, when's the last time we did a show?
2 weeks ago. We skipped last week.
We skipped last week, but that was after saying we wouldn't skip again because we skipped the week before.
Yeah, correct.
So I can't keep track of what's coming or going. I know right now we got the NFL draft going on in the background. It kind of went the way we thought. We saw a couple quarterbacks go. You had Bryce Young go number 1 overall. I don't think anybody was surprised by that. And then C.J. Stroud went to the Texans, and then the Texans ended up drafting third somehow, and we don't know how. But
Will Anderson Jr.
Either way,
Bama.
What's your favorite part about the NFL draft? What do you like about it? Do you watch it? Are you a fan?
I'll never be one of those guys that's there in full face paint. I don't care if it's in my city. Like, it's crazy.
Like to see the Eagles fan in Kansas City losing his mind?
The fact that they drag it out so damn long, like, really? Just freaking pick your player, dude.
It does go a little too long.
It's way too long.
Yeah.
And it's on a Thursday. Of course, Thursday is the new Friday.
Well, remember, it used to just be like Saturday and Sunday, and that was it.
Well, no one works Friday anymore anyway half the time, so it's a new Friday.
I love the NFL draft. My ex-wife was pissed when I watched it on our honeymoon.
You said ex-wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some things are mystery.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah. It definitely started off with a bang.
Yes.
At least, was the number 1 draft pick that year a bust?
Might have been Jamarcus Russell.
The writing was on the wall.
She said, just take it deep. And he's like, I can't.
No comment. All right, so this draft, you're a Raiders fan, Mr. Brown. Do you even care?
Listen.
Are you looking forward to your wide receiver in the first round?
I hate the NFL draft. I posted today on social media that I'm not excited at all for tonight. As sure as the Raiders are going to have a bad draft, is just as sure as you're going to have to die and pay taxes.
Now, you're a Bears fan, Brad, so maybe you have some insight on how you feel because you have the number 1 draft pick.
I like what the Bears did. I like that they traded the number 1 pick. I think they should stock up on picks. I do not think they have the answer right now, so I think they need to keep trading back, take some time, stockpile picks, go from there.
As a Bears fan, what's your opinion on Justin Fields?
I was going to say, just finish the sentence. Justin Fields next year is blank.
Just like all other running quarterbacks, he's not going to win the Super Bowl, but he's going to be fun to watch.
Right.
Michael Vick.
So is he like a Cam that gets you to the Super Bowl? Or is he like a Lamar who can't win a playoff game?
He's won one.
If it weren't for the Bears, if it weren't for being the Bears, I would say he gets us to the Super Bowl. But no, he won't get us to the Super Bowl.
You got the NFC North Slayer is now gone, brother.
I mean, the NFC in general kind of sucks.
Yeah. I don't know. Kirk Cousins is still there.
There he is. There he is.
He got him last year. He got Rodgers last year. Rodgers ran away from Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
I mean, look at the fear in the eyes.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing. You know, that finally happened this week. Rodgers shows up in New York, does a press conference. I can't quite get behind or understand the banter. I don't know if it's real or not with him and Zach Wilson. Like,
That's not real. Wilson said that months ago. And now that it's Rodgers, he's like, oh, shit. But, so I was on a conference call at work, and there was a guy I was on, he's like, I'm a Bills fan. Go Bills. And this other guy was like, you better hold off on that cheer because Aaron Rodgers is now a Jet. So I'm sitting there patiently waiting until I have to report. And I'm like, listen, guys, I know I'm reporting for UPS, but I am the sports guy here. What happened the last time a former Packer went to New York? It's going to end the same
7-9
way, brothers.
Yeah, that's
Go Bills.
That's exactly what you can say until then. Like, I don't know. Do you think the Jets are a playoff team?
No.
Yes. They were within an ace of playoffs last year. They had a star rookie running back get hurt.
No, he was an amazing running back. But they will not beat out the Bills.
They will not be able to build team chemistry with a quarterback that does not show up in summer or fall until week 1. There's no.
I don't think there's no way the Bills don't win that division.
So Tua isn't. The Bills are going to win the division.
I think the Dolphins are going to be better than the Jets again.
Yeah.
Nah, Tua's going to be.
I'm telling you.
Hit in the head, think he's a glass of orange
juice. There's something about Aaron Rodgers, man, when he's not around, and this is a new team, he's not the best guy at building chemistry.
Hey, and you know where Dalvin Cook wants to go?
Where's he want to
go? To the Dolphins.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Everyone wants to go to the Dolphins. Put some respect on Tua's name.
Does.
He's a leader pulling everybody.
You heard it here first, folks.
Right. Dalvin Cook to the Dolphins.
All right. The other NFL thing, we didn't even have this for the show, right? We had a bunch of other things we can get to, but you had a Lamar Jackson sighting today. He appeared in the news cycle. Brad, you've been out and about. Do you know what happened?
I've heard that he signed the contract. I don't know the details.
Yes.
Isn't it amazing after all these trade rumors that it takes to the day of the NFL draft, and now they ink it?
Well, I think there's something to that because after the draft, there's other teams can negotiate with him.
Right.
Like teams like the Dolphins.
So you think he's not going to be a Raven?
Well, no, I think he is now. The point is, if the Dolphins could have said, all right, Lamar's still there. Maybe we want to move on for Tua, and they're going to work something out.
Right.
But the Dolphins couldn't have done that before the draft because they didn't have enough draft capital to qualify for the trade. So I think that's what happened as it got closer to the draft. They knew teams like the Rams, who could probably move to a quarterback. Teams like the Dolphins, who are questionable about Tua, they were being in play, and they just removed it. But anyway, 5 years, $225, and I think 180 guaranteed.
260.
Or 260.
Yeah.
And 185 is guaranteed.
Correct.
Okay. So I think it looks like a good deal for everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
are the fences mended?
Yes, they are, obviously, because money talks.
Money fixes everything.
But, I mean, let's be real. LeVar Ball. Lamar Jackson's window is closed. Like, it's closing. He's already seen his peak years. Now they were mass paying for a guy who's already seen his best years.
They're paying for what he already did.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy to me.
I think
at this point, go Hundley.
I think it's one of those things where the Ravens, if they were in the NFC, I think it's a completely different feel for them.
I agree with you.
But the AFC is so stacked.
You know who they remind me of? They remind me of the 49ers of the AFC, but there's no room for them in the AFC because the AFC is so stacked. They play the same way. It's running game, defense, quarterback that just doesn't lose the game. That's what the Ravens do.
Who's the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFC?
NFC? Aaron Always.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is Kirk Cousins in the top 3?
I think
a lot of people
is.
say that Dak's in there, and he ain't been in there. Like,
I mean, that might be 2 of the 3. Like, who else you putting ahead?
Muscle Midget.
You think?
Bryce Young.
Yes.
It changes now.
Yes.
Today, Junior.
That's what I told him on the call. I was like, you say it's awesome about Aaron Rodgers, but now he's like the 6th, 7th best quarterback in the conference.
Yeah, he didn't even make you guys the best team in your own division.
Right.
Like, it's just I thought it was supposed to be about parity. But either way, speaking of parity, like a segue, we're going to use that to transition to the parity of the NBA playoffs.
Okay.
Because, we discussed, how we're not super stoked about the play-in tournament, but it seems to be doing good for the ratings, and it was good to get them out there. More games, more money. We love it. But, now we're into the first round of the playoffs, official round. And, I haven't been watching in great deal. So, Mr. Brown, I'm hoping you can navigate us through this a little bit. But I want to start with, I knew the Kings got up early on the Warriors. That was looking desperate. But now all of a sudden, they're backed into the corner. They're down 3-2. You got the Clippers have been a shit show with Kawhi. You have a team eliminated already. And then, did the Suns look good? I don't know. What's going on?
So here's the deal. So I'm going to say a few things. The Knicks won their series already against the Cavs. And my God, I'm a Knicks fan, but it is better when the Knicks are good in the NBA. It's better for basketball.
Does that mean they're good, though?
Cavaliers is a good team this year.
Okay.
It's the best team they've had since LeBron in the last 25 years.
I remember the Knicks didn't start real well this year.
So the Knicks, and they're coached by Thibs. Great team, good defense. It's great for them. The biggest series, clearly, is the fact that the Lakers had to do the play-in, and they're against the Grizzlies, who's the number 2 seed. You had Ja Morant, who sat out. LeBron, you got Anthony Davis, who can't stay healthy. And you got Dylan Brooks, who's running his damn mouth.
Became the face of the series.
Poking the bear. And LeBron, he's like, I don't respect him. He's an old man until he drops 40 on me. Then he went 20-20, and Chuck's like, that looks like 40 to me.
Who was it that he went with the Wizards? LeBron, when he was Cleveland, and there was a back and forth with a Wizards player.
Was it Draymond?
No, the Wizards player?
You said Wizards.
No, this is back in the day.
Hell, I don't remember
LeBron?
that.
Original
I don't
contract.
know.
I have no idea. Wizards, LeBron.
What's your point?
Let's move on.
Thanks for derailing that. All right,
so hold up. So we got that. It's amazing. That series is now 3-2. Okay, because the Grizzlies came charging back. But the Lakers, if they win the series, would have to face your Suns you just talked about. So it might be short-lived. And then the 1 seed in the East is now out.
The Bucks are dead. Shot dead.
Because of Jimmy effing Butler.
Why do the Heat scare the hell out of me come playoff time?
Because they're dogs, man.
They are, aren't they? Let's not forget the bubble season a couple years ago. It's a lot of the same guys.
So, to me, I look at the Miami Heat, and I look at Eric Spoelstra, their coach. To me, the Heat is more ran in the NBA like a college dynamic, because Spoelstra's been there now 17 years, which is unheard of in NBA times.
He's still young.
Yeah. So Pat Riley was like, this is my guy. So this guy's been coaching since Pat Riley stepped aside and said, you're my guy. 17 years later, Spoelstra's still doing his thing, and he's there every year. And he told him, they were drawing up the play in the huddle when they were stepping on the Bucks' neck, and he was going to give it to somebody else, like a three-point shooter, and Jimmy Butler said, no, I want to be that guy. And they changed the play, and that's what happened. The Bucks are out.
So, Giannis was hurt. How bad was he hurt in this series?
I mean, we'll never know. I mean, but the fact is that, you have a superior team on one side of the ball, and they just underperformed.
Yeah.
So he got really pissed. And they're like, was this season a failure? And he's like, I don't know. Jordan played 15 seasons, only won 6 championships. Were the other 9 seasons failures?
If you ask Jordan, he'd probably say yeah.
Correct. Get that tiger blood, son.
Wait, that's Charlie Sheen.
Yes. But I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Hepatitis.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Go to the West though, real quick, because I feel like you talk about the value Butler is, big player in the playoffs, rising to the occasion. The opposite happened on the Western side of the playoffs with Kawhi. He's got to be the worst superstar you could want,
dude. So Kawhi is that, but. They did come to find out
he's so good.
He has a torn meniscus, just so you know.
Of course he is. That's what I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm saying he's the most difficult superstar to have.
No, he absolutely is. His agent is right up there with Joe Flacco's agent, because the man made a career out of that. Toronto's won world championship.
He parlayed his Spurs NBA Finals MVP.
But you got to remember, because that's when Pop had Timmy, Parker, Ginobili, Kawhi was coming up. So then Pop let him do some game management back then as a young player and rest. And now he's never graduated above that. And now he's a pussy for his whole career.
Yeah,
stay healthy.
He's gone full Ben Simmons. You never go full Ben Simmons.
It's crazy.
Now, we've seen what that's done to him.
So, yeah, I mean, Kawhi, I don't want that guy as my leader.
I want him to play.
And then you pair him with Paul George? Give me a freaking break.
As a fan, I want to see him. I want to see him play. I want to see him healthy. But the problem is, like, even in the playoffs, you can't count on it.
Here's the thing. Everyone wants to trash Russ Westbrook. He comes to the Clippers, balls out.
It's because he sucks.
He balls out. He's averaging triple-doubles in the playoffs because that's what he does. He plays every freaking game with all heart. You can dog him all you want because he can't shoot like Ben Simmons, but guess what? The man goes out there every day.
You can't ever, challenge the man in him to go out there. He is a dog.
He's a dog.
Right. Don't you wish he was just better, though, because of that?
Yeah.
Imagine how bad of a player he would be if he wasn't a dog.
I know.
He wouldn't be in the league.
He'd be like, well, I was going to say be like Patrick Beverly, but without the defense.
Yeah, because that's no dog.
He's kind of flipped from a player that people rooted against to a player you root for now.
I don't know. You think so?
I think so.
I don't know if that made people, or they just feel sorry for him because, hey.
The LA was not a good fit. He switched from the Lakers to the Clippers and the light bulb went off.
Right.
Anyways, so the Clippers are out. The Suns steal, in my opinion, even to by the Joker on the Nuggets, who's the number 1 seed. They've also finished off the Timberwolves. Jokic also said that the Suns are the biggest feared team left in the playoffs.
I'm sure they are.
On paper.
Just in the matter of chemistry in a big situation, we'll see how it holds up.
But also, you touched on it, the Warriors. They're up 3-2 on the Kings. The Kings went up 2-0, right?
Yeah, they're up 2-0.
So the Warriors have won 3 in a row.
That's what it looks like.
Defending champs.
So their backs against the wall.
Yeah.
They got a little chippy. That was an interesting. It feels like forever ago when we were talking about how much tickets were going for that game. But man, that's what the NBA playoffs are. I feel like the first couple rounds. I feel like the whole thing. Like it's going to be middle of July when we're done, right?
I feel like it just drags on.
It is bad. I remember back in the day, it used to be you played every other day, and then you had 2 days off for a travel day. Why can't we just do that? Why is that so hard?
Because, man, game management.
Good TV ratings. I don't know. So you got a. Was Milwaukee your favorite?
I never said that.
I couldn't remember. That's why I was asking.
I actually like the Celtics and the Suns.
Okay. I remember the Suns in the West, but I couldn't remember your East. Okay. Boston.
Biggie went all in on the Bucks.
That's who it was.
I said Celtics because to me they're the defending
That's
champs.
why he didn't want to do the show tonight.
Yes, Joe Mazzulla. I said I'm going Homer mode. I'm going with the Celtics.
I'm going to say that the Suns, Kevin Durant is going to get injured.
They're in the playoffs.
He's going to get injured, and then he's out.
That's what he does.
Thanks, Nostradamus.
Yeah.
His defense. What type of injury? What's going to happen?
It's going to be a Kevin Durant injury.
I know. I heard what it's going to be. It's going to be a tickle in his taint.
His taint?
Yes.
Holy shnikes.
That's what's going to happen. Book it now.
Why is that an injury?
Tickle in the taint.
Wow.
So Kevin Durant and the Suns, they're going to be the same Suns from last year without Kevin Durant.
Wait, how's that? I'm so confused.
They're going to be without Durant when it comes crunch time. They're going to lose. I'm picking the Lakers out of the West.
Oh, so the Lakers are going to go into Phoenix and they're going to win that series.
Yes.
All right. Well, you heard it here.
So this
artist formerly known as Brad.
That's because he knows he's changing his name next week, so they don't survive the Grizzlies.
No one can track him.
Well, now that baseball season's here and in full swing, there's definitely something I want to talk about in a minute, Mr. Brown, and it's the Savanna bananas, because I was going to go until the secondary pricing on there was like $300, and I was like, no, but somehow you bastard. You got tickets and
I found tickets.
So we'll get to that. Definitely want to hear all about it, but let's just go. We've kind of been glossing over baseball. We didn't really get into division predictions too much and all that, but we're off and running, a month almost in the books. Tampa Bay had the incredible start. I Oh no, just what's your overall takeaways?
Let me run through it. So AL, all right. You said Tampa Bay won with 13 straight.
13-0.
They tied the best record all time with the 82 Braves and the 87 Brewers.
Yes.
It's 13 in a row. But since then, they're still a major league leading 20-5. Okay?
That's pretty damn good.
Think about this, though. The AL East. You got the Rays at 20-5, the Orioles 16-8, the Blue Jays 16-9, and in the bottom you have the Yankees and then the Red Sox. My, how the mighty have fallen.
And that's where we just remind everybody it's April.
It's amazing, though. Why can't it just stay this way?
It might.
So I'm telling you right now, we talked about it like 2 weeks ago. All the Rays have to do is go 500 the rest of the season, and they'll be in the wild card of not winning the division.
Yep.
But the Orioles, greatly overachieving. Their young talent came up last year. They started putting it together.
Remember, they had a little bit of a sell-off at the trade deadline.
They were right there at the wild
right
card.
there.
Right there.
Them and the Brewers were just
right. So, the Orioles and the Blue Jays right there, wild card contenders. The Twins, their Central sucks. Let's just roll them past the Central.
It's real bad.
But I'll tell you this. I said at the beginning of the year, I love the credibility that Bruce Bochy brought to the Texas Rangers. They are currently in first place over the Houston Astros. And I'm only going to talk about one team in the NL, and that's the Pittsburgh Pirates.
They look a little bit. Well, they actually spent some money this week too.
Oh, and Brian Reynolds.
Yeah.
Extension, over $100 million.
Did that not surprise you?
That was their first contract. They gave out over $100 million for a contract.
I told you how excited I was when the Reds actually spent money, only to be won up by the Pirates, who are saying we're going to start winning.
So listen, there's only 3 teams now in Major League history that have not given out a $100 million contract, and that's the Kansas City Royals, the Oakland A's, and the Chicago White Sox.
Really?
Yep, correct.
All right. That's because they saw the Reds do it with Joey Votto, and they're like, never again.
Yeah, exactly. But the Pittsburgh Pirates are NL leading 18-8, 10 games over 500. So we've always talked about PNC as one of the best venues to watch a ball game. And now the product is, at least in April, is doing its thing.
So and they even have some injury. Like I think O'Neal Cruz isn't playing right now.
Is he out for the year?
Is he out that long?
No, maybe not.
I think
he's out for a while.
Yeah, but anyway, like they got some scrap to him, man. Like the Reds got to play him a couple times. I got to see him. Just kind of what they were looking like on TV. They're solid, man. The good thing is like the NL Central's not quite as bad as the AL Central, but it's not good. So. Teams like them can rise up.
You got 3 teams in NL Central over 500. So definitely better than AL Central. And they just took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. The Pirates did.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Which, don't you feel like the Dodgers are losing a little bit of that luster? Like, do you feel the same way about them that you have in the past?
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
That's the Padres division right now.
Like, the Dodgers don't scare you at all, do
Not
they?
at all. No. Because they got Kershaw. He's going to get hurt.
They're a good team.
Yeah.
They're a good team. Not saying they may not be a playoff team. They're just not a great team.
When you lose players of their caliber, like Justin Turner, Trey Turner, they lost Bellinger, who's been there. You lost a lot of your
guys
core.
hitting 2 through 6.
You lost a lot of your core, man, and a lot of your identity. So I'm not feeling the Dodgers at all.
So far, they're a 500 team.
Exactly.
And that you're not spending that payroll to be 500.
There's only one team in the NL West that's a positive run differential, and that's the Dodgers with 9.
Really?
Yeah, that's terrible.
They've got the leading home run hitter in Muncie.
Do they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Home runs don't seem to be getting it done this year.
Well, now that we've had a chance to, we were talking about this a little bit pre-show. We're a month in. You've got to see some ball. We're talking about the home run and maybe small ball coming back into play because the shift not being there. Have you noticed much of the way the games are being played feeling any different?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, because it's clearly it's faster, but then now we're looking like the 84 Cardinals.
Yeah,
with a track meet out there.
Everybody's trying to take second.
You got Vince Coleman and who's the other guy?
Ozzie Smith.
Yeah, they're all running, doing their thing, but Acuna, he's leading the MLB with 14 steals, on pace for 88 steals this year.
Yeah.
And that's unheard of.
like we were talking about, like in fantasy baseball, like you don't really think about the stolen base that much. You're like, if I get it, it's great. But if you planned on it this year and you planned right, you're probably doing pretty good because it's active out there. But it's been interesting to see the pace of play. But I can honestly say, watching, I've enjoyed it, man. I have no bad things to say about the rule changes as of right now.
And I agree with you. I mean, I'm fine being a traditionalist that I am. It hasn't hurt me as bad as I thought it would. And I'm fine watching it on TV. I have not been to a game yet in person because I never want a game to be over quicker than what it is. But the one opposite side surprise, the Oakland A's are 5-21. They're already 10 games out in the West, and their run differential is negative 113.
Negative 113.
So they've already talked about Vegas. They're pretty much following the Raiders out there.
Like that's definitely happening, right? Like they already bought land. Like
Right.
I don't know the ins and outs of what their land lease deals are going to be, but it seems like it's over.
Well, they put it on MLB on Facebook, and they were asking the question, why are the A's so bad? And I just commented, it's because the players have to pay for soda.
Yeah, that's well documented.
So,
ask Dave Justice.
This is Moneyball right here.
Like, are they going to go to another town and all of a sudden start spending money?
It worked for the rate. Oh, wait.
No, it didn't. You just stab me. Can you stab me a little deeper?
Yeah. The only thing happened when the Raiders moved was the players' reputations continued to be, unlawful.
No, it was like more targets on the strip. Let's hit them.
Yeah, exactly.
And their dogs, too.
No, not their dogs.
Oh, wow.
So let's talk about shortstops.
Okay.
Why do we want to talk about shortstops?
So I posted it in the America's Pastime. I posted 4 shortstops. I left Ozzie Smith out on purpose because he's more of a defensive wizard. Didn't have the pop
Mediocre
that these other guys have. And I'm going to say it right now because it's ingrained in my head. Ozzie Smith, career batting average 262. He had 28 career home runs.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about and now let's talk about Cal Ripken. Let's talk about Derek Jeter. Let's talk about Barry Larkin. And let's talk about the unknown that people don't know about, Alan Trammell, who's right there with the other 4. So I asked him in my group, rate these 4 players. Clearly, Chad, you're a Reds fan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm biased, and I grew up with Barry Larkin, shortstop winning MVP. Like, that's an exciting thing.
And you saw Cal. You saw Jeter. Probably not Trammell as much.
So, I mean, if I had to rank them, like, I love Cal Ripken, man. I don't know why. Like, I do the longevity thing, but he was a great ball player.
Don't let Ashley Harper hear you talk about Cal Ripken. He hates it.
That's fine. Why?
Because he says it was all sabotage.
Why? Because I guess he could have sat down and let other people play. But, it's about Ripken, Jeter.
I think he went as far to even saying that he pulled the old sprinklers thing, like the Durham Bulls, to keep the streak alive.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do. But I feel like Jeter gets more love just because of being on the Yankees. He was always in prominence. You saw him, big plays, World Series.
Big moments.
Has one of my favorite moments of all time. The Mr. November stuff was cool. Like
flip to get Giambi on plate.
But why is Trammell so forgotten compared to the others? Barry Larkin's probably a little underappreciated, maybe, but I don't think he's a forgotten guy like Trammell is.
No, so maybe because it's not recent. It's recency bias. I mean, he's the oldest of the 4. But so when you're talking about terms of WAR, Cal is clearly the cut above the rest. He's around 90 because he was great shortstop, and then he moved to third later in his career. But hit for power, it was Cal. And then you had Larkin, Trammell, and Jeter all around 70. So you could pretty much group those guys any way you saw fit.
Yeah.
Now, let me talk about Derek Jeter. His offensive WAR was 96. His defense is so bad, it brought him down to a 70.
Wow.
Think about that.
Well, and
to me, that almost puts him number 4.
Yeah.
If one side of the position makes you negative player.
So I know this is a hotly debated item with a lot of baseball people. How do you feel about WAR overall as a statistic when doing these comparisons?
I like it a lot, honestly. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a traditionalist, but I like the fact because it helps you compare eras without the bias.
I I'm glad to hear you say that. I'm a big fan of it. And I honestly, the biggest reason why is how damn consistent it seems to be.
It is.
Like right now, if you had to say a Hall of Famer, if they're worthy or not, you'd have to say their award would be like a 65 minimum, right?
Right.
Like that's, and why can you say that? Because almost without, much thought, you can look at any fringe player and they're going to be right there.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it's so damn, and then you can talk about great players. And so anytime you talk about a guy like over a 75, you're like, damn. And then you get into the 90s and higher.
Well,
legendary.
let's even talk about the old school days. You have a Honus Wagner, people like that, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, people that were in the way over 100.
Right.
But you got to think, the great players back then were few and far between. They were that much better than their average competitor.
Right.
And today, you have to be so skilled to get in the league that, yes, there are better players, but the discrepancy is not as big.
The margin's a lot smaller.
I mean, if that makes sense.
Right. Like the difference between an MVP and the 29th man on the roster.
Right.
Is not hugely different.
Whereas Babe Ruth would come out and he's hands down the god of
Everybody
baseball.
else is single A.
Yeah, so I mean, it's huge. You might have had a handful of players back then, and they're getting like 130 WAR or more.
Have you ever had WAR change your mind about anything? And did it here with like Trammell?
No, WAR has absolutely changed my mind, and I hate to say it, but it's with Lou Whitaker. Because Lou Whitaker, his WAR is 75, and it's higher than Jeter, Trammell, and Barry Larkin, and he's yet to still be in the Hall of Fame as a second baseman, which is not as a strict defensive position as shortstop, which meant that he was such a great second baseman and offensive player that he still had a higher WAR than Derek Jeter. Think about that.
Why isn't he in? So he's the anomaly.
75. Like, to me, he's the biggest bust, or not in the Hall of Fame, biggest omission.
Discrepancy.
Yeah, not in the Hall of Fame that there is in the history of baseball.
Like you would trade Harold Baines for him in a heartbeat?
Clearly. I'd trade Fred McGriff for him.
And Fred McGriff's WAR is like, what, a 60?
Yeah.
Like 58, something
Correct.
like that. And then Harold Baines is like a 38?
39,
something? Like, yeah. So, like, again, like, that's consistent for me. Like, I can go to that to prove my point without knowing how the hell to calculate it if I had to.
So, for me, I personally would go Ripken, Larkin, Trammell, Jeter.
No, I probably wouldn't put Jeter at the bottom until you said what you said.
To me, if you're that bad on defense, you deserve to be last.
I can't disagree with your ranking.
If he didn't play for New York.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in theory, though, clearly A-Rod should have stayed at shortstop and moved Jeter to third when it happened. But the egos were so big, they were never going to move Jeter, even though it was going to make them lose more games.
As a captain, man.
Right.
You can't move him.
No, but like they sacrificed games for his ego. Think about that.
Yeah.
In New York.
I will say he's got my favorite baseball Nike commercial in some time.
Oh, yeah?
When he was retiring and they did the captain thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's tipping the cap.
That's cool.
That was, I'll give him that.
I'm not dogging Jeter at all.
That's what Jeter is.
I'm not dogging him at all.
It's not just the on field.
I hated Jeter as a Braves fan in the 90s and early 2000s, but like the man, he kind of grew on me over the years, and I respected it.
Until he tried to run the Marlins.
I don't care about that.
It was bad.
I don't care. I mean, like, what you want to do after your career is your business.
Yeah. You got to say that being a Jordan fan, too.
Correct.
Can't criticize these former players in the minutes. So, all right, last little thing on baseball. You got to see the Savanna Bananas.
Yep.
I've not ever been. I've only seen the highlights of that beginning this year. What is it?
So I've seen them twice now this year. Last month in Savannah on their home field, which is amazing. Very retro. I don't remember the name of the field without looking it up. But, like, you don't even have concrete parking lot. You literally pull into the grass underneath the willow trees.
That's fantastic.
For $5K. It's awesome. So it was amazing down there. We just got to see it in Charleston, West Virginia against our very own Dirty Birds, which I hate the freaking name. But if you put them in this league, I love it. Because that's what they need to be.
Yeah.
Dirty Birds would sound perfect in this league with the bananas and the party animals. Perfect, right? So the party animals, if you don't know, travel with the bananas.
Okay.
It's similar thing.
Washington Generals versus
So
Globetrotters.
when they do this world tour, if there's not like a good team there like the Dirty Birds like we have in that area, they'll just play the party animals for the show.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
But it's the biggest interactive experience you ever want to meet on a diamond with your kids. It's amazing. You can't pass it up. The thing is, they're not just a show. They're very skilled players. So they're playing the Dirty Birds, who is independent ball, but it's several former major leaguers, several former guys trying to get to the big leagues, and they beat them handedly that night I was there. But they play by banana rules. So if you don't know, you got to look up the 9 banana rules, and I'm not going to go through all 9 of them, but
That's all there are is just 9?
9 banana rules. It changes it from regular baseball.
Okay.
But the ones that are great is that if a fan catches a foul ball, the batter's out, which is amazing.
That's interactive.
All right. So there's no walks. So as soon as you get ball 4, the batter takes off sprinting towards first base, and as long as he wants, because the defense has to pass the ball around the diamond until every player touches the ball except for the pitcher and the catcher.
Like even the outfield?
Correct. So usually,
So
here's
it
the
walks
difference.
like a double?
Correct.
Okay.
So it's the bananas are so good at it that their goal is to hold you before you get to second. They're good at it to where they can hold you to a single sometimes. Because as soon as it happens,
They know what to do.
they all come running in, sprint and converge, and they pass the ball around like pepper, and it's done. And the runner's not even they got like 6 runners out trying to get to second base on a walk. Now, the Dirty Birds, on the other hand, they're like, which way did he go? Which way did he go?
This is not a well-rehearsed.
They're throwing it out there to the outfield fence, and it's an inside the park home run on a walk. So you got that, which is amazing. There's no bunting because they said in the rules, bunting sucks, which is amazing. But like there's 9 rules. You got to look them up under banana ball rules. They'll have a guy that comes out and pitches on stilts, and he can throw strikes. And then you have another guy that comes out and throws underhanded underneath his tank there, and he still throws strikes.
Now, what's this deal where I'll see like the pitchers out there, and all of a sudden everybody comes in and they're all dancing together?
That's just rehearsed.
And they're all doing it, and then but they pitch in the middle of it, it's still just part of the game.
Yeah, it's all choreographed, and then they just throw a strike, right? Like because they're still good at what they do,
right.
So,
have you seen any of this at all?
Oh yeah. I'm going to Savanna next week, and I'm going to try to get in there. We'll see what happens.
I bet they're traveling though. Seems like their time of year they'd be all over.
So here in West Virginia, they sold out in less than 24 hours.
Yeah, so I was trying to get it on the secondary market. It was $350 for general admission.
So they were
It's unheard of here.
One ticket.
they were actually packaged to me and my son as birthday presents. I didn't pay for them. I don't know how much was paid for them. So we got in. The only problem with banana tickets is that everything's general seating. So once you get there is where you settle in.
Yep.
People try to save whole rows if you're not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gets ugly. You don't want to fight somebody's grandma, which I was about to.
I'd be fighting.
So me and my son sat in right. We stood standing in room only in right field, which is fine. But I know people that sold their tickets the day of for $450 a piece.
$450. I can't imagine. I wanted to go.
It ain't worth that.
I didn't want to go that bad.
It ain't that bad.
I mean, I wanted to go.
Yeah.
This is not that bad.
No, but
That's like NFL tickets.
Not even. NFL be less than that.
Yeah.
I mean, we need more good shit around
So
here.
think about that. I can go sit in left field in the second row in Truist Park in Atlanta and watch the Braves play and one of the best teams in the National League for $35. I mean, think about it.
10 times that.
Don't come watch baseball in Charleston, West Virginia.
Yeah.
For a minor league team in Charleston.
It's not even minor league. It's independent.
Yeah.
Not even affiliated.
Right.
Who are these
The
clowns?
Harlem Globetrotters of
That's what it
baseball.
is. That's literally what it is.
Man.
But you've got to witness it once in your life. It's a moment. So, like, people want to dog it. And then in my baseball group, they're like,
A lot of people dogging it.
it's not real baseball. And I'm like, listen, all I know is the fan experience is outstanding. My 14-year-old son had a moment he'll never forget.
Right.
Way past the time I'm long gone.
That's like people that dog wrestling, man. Like, It's just entertainment.
It is.
It ain't got to be pure to the game or whatever. Like, sorry. It's just still baseball.
Right.
It's just fun baseball.
Yeah, it's different, but it's fun. But you know
what
you
it did for tickets. Look what it did for sales. Look at
the local economy.
How much beer do you think they sold that night?
Oh, a ton. It was a ton. I know people was going hot and heavy into some kind of spiked lemonade.
Ooh, do they have a pitch clock?
No.
Okay, that's good.
No, but it was amazing. So these guys, literally, they will pull out a Sharpie in their back pocket while the game is going on, sign an autograph, throw it back to a kid while the game is going on.
that happened with your son.
Correct.
It's a good family event.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just not for $2,000.
No.
All right, as we wrap up here, we did have a little bit of tragic news that hit the radio waves today, and it was an icon, a television icon. I remember
Former mayor of Cincinnati.
Former mayor of Cincinnati. I remember when he had a serious talk show. Then I remember when it turned into what everyone knows him for, and it is the icon, Jerry Springer. And what do you remember about Jerry Springer? Like, just think about when you were younger. What's your first memory of the Jerry Springer show being a thing?
It was outlandish. It was brash. It broke a lot of barriers when you're watching TV and what was allowed. It was different from everything.
And it was on regular cable TV, and
syndication.
You can't believe this is happening right now.
Major network like Fox.
Yeah.
It was. It got so popular that like people would just make shit up so they could get on there because they just wanted to fight. And I remember really old episodes of Jerry Springer where it was more serious. It had more of an Oprah feel to it or more of a Donahue feel. And then at some point he realized like that didn't work. They had like a segment or something with the KKK and it just got out of hand. They're like, we're on to something here. Remember, they even made a movie called Ringmaster?
Yeah, I remember
They
that.
had his own movie about him running a TV show.
He was a legend.
And then Steve Wilkos gets his own TV show.
Head security.
Yeah,
Like
like
bodyguard.
he
Yeah.
was
he
just
had his
the
own
big
show.
guy that would grab these like trailer park bitches running out the hall and whatnot.
I'll kill you.
And there's always the reveal, where it's like they're just sitting in the chair and they're just running down somebody, and the crowd, ooh, we don't like this person.
He's like, let's bring him out. Bring him out.
And he's just like, yo, I keep it real, bitch. He's flipping the crowd off. They're booing him like it's the Iron Sheik and it's 1987. It's fantastic. But it might be lowbrow, and you talk about it breaking barriers. It only broke barriers down, but
Yes,
that's okay.
yes,
we were
one
there
direction.
for it.
I still remember to this day, like, even it was like, it came on at like 3 o'clock. And like, we'd get home at like 3:30. So I'd come home, flip it on, because I think it ran till 4. And you'd be like, man, I know it's bleeped out, but what kind of titties we going to see today?
Man, they had the ones, I remember like, I got to tell the story. This is fantastic. They had you could get the VHS. You know, they had the Too Hot for TV, Jerry Springers.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I remember being in high school, and we went to Hollywood Video here in Cross Vegas, and I rented the Too Hot for TV because it's got naked ladies on it. And so 16-year-old me goes home, watches it, whatever. It's great. It's just her just sitting there the whole time. Honestly, it lost its effect after a minute, but I was 16, so we're just excited to see it. But anyway, did whatever, run around with some friends, came home at night, and my mom had found it and was watching it and then wanted to ask me a million questions as to why I have this. And
What'd your mom think about
she was
it?
trying to make me uncomfortable by watching it like with her. And I'm like, it's fine. You know, it didn't work, but whatever.
You say, let's watch Girls Will Go On Wild next.
Yeah, I'm going to the store tomorrow.
Did either of you know anyone on it?
I feel like I always heard about people on there from like Red House.
Yeah. I worked at Applebee's as a kid. There was this waitress.
Cheap child labor?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm working at Applebee's as a kid after my day job making soccer balls. And then I'm watching TV. I'm looking up, and this waitress, she's standing there waiting on tables, and I look up, and she's on Jerry Springer. And I don't remember the plot. I was just surprised to see somebody that I actually had met on Jerry Springer. It was something like, there was a debate over, her cousin was cheating. She was cheating on her cousin's boyfriend, which was also her dad and her uncle and her grandfather at the same time.
That sounds like us, West Virginia. So did you feel like a big deal that you were that closely connected?
I'm going to speak at his funeral now as a result of that.
So eulogy, are you going to do like a campus tour afterwards? Or are you going to speak at colleges about the experience?
I think it's transcendent.
It could be. Oh, man, I do got to tell you, I did go to the movie theater this week. I haven't been to the movies in a minute, but one of the things that's been nice is since COVID, it's a lot easier to go to the theater. It's not as crowded. And when you go to the movies, do you have a certain place you like to sit in the theater?
So I personally like to sit in the very back row in the middle.
Okay. You any different?
Depends on if I'm with a woman or not.
What does that determine?
Yeah, go ahead and break that down.
I mean, what's the furthest you've gone in a movie theater?
Well, I mean, what does that have to do with the seating location?
Well, I don't want to do that up front. I mean, people are going to get distracted from the movie.
If it's just you and you're playing with yourself, where do you sit?
I like about 1/3 back, right in the middle.
Okay, right in the middle.
All right, so what about you? Where you sitting, Chad? The mark.
Everybody, magic word's penis.
The secret word is
Penis.
yay! I forgot what we were doing.
We were talking about movie theater.
Where do you
etiquette.
sit?
All right, so Mr. Brown also preferred back row right underneath the projector for two reasons. One, I don't want anybody behind me. And two, I want the center view.
Right.
So we get there before the previews even start. We're going to see Evil Dead Rise. Good movie, especially if you go see it in the theaters. So we get there, go to the theater. Like, yeah, we're going to be the only ones there. There's two people already in the theater. And guess where they're sitting?
Right in your spot.
So what do?
I move over right or left like 2 seats.
Exactly.
Yes.
Then what do?
They probably move.
Exactly.
And take their seats.
So I got exactly what I wanted. And that's exactly how it
They
played
were back
out.
there doing the fiddling or the diddling like Brad likes to do.
That's exactly right.
Last week, I was in the theater watching Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Dude, you remember when you moved all the way to the end of the top row?
Yeah, and then this
That's
asshole
me.
comes in and sits right beside me.
But here's the thing, like, they thought we might have been assholes, but I don't know about you guys. I've never paid for snacks in the movie theater. We go to the gas station. It's the only reason why I have cargo shorts. It's because we're at the theaters, loaded up. Wife brings out the big purse. Like, we got triplets, the diaper bag. It's all got ranch dressing and shit in there. Everything you need.
Just run down.
You just go in there. So, like, yeah, they moved because we got too close. But then we start breaking out the snacks, and it sounds like mom's purse, and all that stuff. And everybody's looking like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't have moved.
Did they come back?
No, too late. They done, because like 30 minutes had passed. They done established a boundary. We're good.
Now they would be invading personal space.
I got to tell you, though, the best part was after they moved, we did get up and move over a little bit more in the same direction.
To rub it in.
Because now, they left, so let's just take exactly where we wanted to be. So we fixed the 2 to 3 seat, problem.
I love that.
But
so do you have a favorite snack that you sneak into the theater?
I've been a big fan of chocolate dip pretzels.
I'm big on the goobers.
Get like a bag of that. So goobers would fit in there. Reese Pieces are a good one. That's a go-to. And then usually, we'll get like some pork rinds maybe. Might have some gummy bears.
So obviously, if you're bringing all this, you never get that big old bucket of the theater popcorn.
No, there's free popcorn laying all around the floor.
Exactly.
I've gotten the popcorn before, but not very often. I don't know. It's what they get you worse is the drinks. I have this big can of C4. That's what I took in the movie theater. I just stuck that in my back pocket.
Start screaming in the middle of it.
The 16-year-old is not going to frisk you at the movie theater. I promise, unless you really ask. But they're going to just let you walk in. They don't care.
So you like walking around the theater like a pigeon, Brad?
Yeah. I like, I'll eat a hot dog, but not with my mouth.
Exactly. He's been on his stretching.
I've been on yoga.
Well, that's going to wrap up our show today, everybody. I actually have to head to Arby's and pick up Chad and Mark Jr., but it was nice seeing you guys after having a week off. We plan on doing this again. I don't see... Are we going to forget birthdays or anything next week? I think we're good next week. I don't see anything on the horizon.
I got my birthday, but I'm good.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Simon's birthday, yeah.
On Tuesday.
Yeah.
Big 41, who cares?
Yeah, right. You only care about the ones that are in the oven.
Correct.
All right, well, you going to be back next week?
I will not.
No, of course not. Can't go for 2 in a row. That gives you another week to think about your new moniker. But until then, this is Chad the Mark with Mr. Brown and a guy to be named later with the artist formerly known as Bradford, I guess. Thanks for listening in to the We Don't Know Sports Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcast. We will see you next week. But until then, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.